Good evening. My name is Knut Rary. I'm a storyteller. I live in Western North Carolina. I was sitting on my porch this morning, and we've got this incredible mountain view of the mountains and the lakes. And I often go out there early in the morning. It was pretty brisk this morning, but I bundled up, and as I went out and sat down, the sun came up over the horizon just like every day, but it was a bright blue sky out there, and the chill in the air, and the sun was just brilliant as it reflected across the mountains and the lake, and I realized for a moment what I had just said to myself, and then now just to you when I said that the sun had risen. And in fact, the sun hadn't risen. In fact, the sun was where the sun is in the universe, but the earth, our earth, rotated toward it, rolled toward it. As it rolled toward it, us included, gravitation keeping us in place, we rolled forward and rolled forward, and therefore we rolled, and the sun came up over the horizon. So that reminded me of just thinking about the sun and thinking about the earth and thinking about growing up on the farm in Ohio and my experience of that. And I remember once taking a trip, a backpacking trip, and it was one of the first major trips I'd ever taken in my life. And I had bought a journal, and the journal was empty, and it was brand new. And as I thought about that brand new journal, at the time I thought about what am I going to write in there? How am I going to start this journal? Because it's a beginning, and always how do you start that beginning? And when I was thinking about that, I thought about the journal today, which is this old, beat up, worn journal. The pages are worn and bent, and some of them are torn, but it's full, and it's full of all these old memories. But one of the ways it started out by this phrase that I wrote in the front of the book. The first phrase was, "In the dusty fields of my youth, I dreamed of faraway places and friends who were yet faces." And I wrote that in the journal as a beginning point. And as I was thinking about that, I remember the first part of that phrase, "in the dusty fields of my youth," because I remember working the land across, as I went down across the field, working the land, plowing or disking or some other way of making the land ready for seed to be planted. I thought about not wanting to turn around when I got down there at the end, that I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep going on that, just like the earth. I wanted to keep following the earth as it revolved toward the sun. And in the dusty fields of my youth, there I was on the farm, and we were working really hard. We were working hard to plant the seed, to prepare the land, to plant the seed, and then to hope for it to grow and to have the faith that it would grow if we do it just right. And the funny thing about that faith and that hope was that we really probably spent half our time on our knees praying that it would rain, and the other half of the time on our knees praying it would stop raining. And that was the experience we had all summer long, and so that seed got enough nourishment from the land and got enough nourishment from the rain and the sun, and that it would grow, and we'd have this wonderful harvest at the end of the year, and that would give us an opportunity to buy more seed for the next year, and also feed the land, feed the harvest to our cows and our sheep and our pigs, so that we could produce milk or meat or sell the grain directly after we harvested it. Either way, to make what it took to make a living on the farm and to have something for the next year. And all of those memories came back to me as I was thinking about that, as I was thinking about that phrase, "in the dusty fields of my youth." And as I was thinking about sitting on the porch this morning and thinking about that old journal and the phrase that I had written in there, and looking out there at the sun and realizing that it wasn't just the sun rising, but it was the earth moving toward the sun and us moving with it. And with that, just the wonderful memories that I had this morning as I was sitting there enjoying my first cup of coffee. And I thought I'd share that with you.